What is up, everyone out there? Welcome back to the Phantom's Fanatic YouTube channel, and yes, fucking mic, I know. I'm trying new framing stuff, and I just can't lower this out of frame or else it gets quiet like that, so, unfortunately, I have to keep this thing in frame now when I'm doing YouTube, when I'm doing these reviews. Sorry about that, but, yeah, anyways, this week's review is of Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, released last year in 2021, starring Kylian Scodzrelio, I don't know how to pronounce half these guys' names, Ava Joyan, and Robbie Amell, and it was directed by Johannes Roberts. If I would have to describe the plot of this film, if you've played the first two Resident Evil games, it's almost a mixture of the two, so it's the last night, it's a night in Raccoon City where the evil Umbrella Corporation has released the T-Virus, a virus that causes people to turn into zombies, into the city, and obviously a bunch of people are getting sick and stuff, and then we follow two plot lines, I would say. So we start off following Claire Redfield, played by Kaya Scoldrelio. I'm sorry if I'm fucking up this name pronunciation. It's not any, I don't mean to, but we follow her as Claire Redfield, and she shows up to get her brother, who is Chris Redfield, I think very well cast by Robbie Amell, out of the city because she's seen shit that evil William Birkin was doing, and they even were like kids in the city, and they were gonna get experimented on by William Birkin. And then you have the other plot line, which is the cops, which is Leon Kennedy, Albert Wesker, Chris Redfield, and Leon Kennedy, who the actor I feel like is miscast, because I thought when I first saw him that was Carlos from the third Resident Evil game, because he has the long curly hair. And, you know, I don't need the character to be white, okay? I'm saying it's fine if you cast another race into that role. That's completely fine by me. And I think the actor actually captures the character of Leon very well, but the writing around him and the fact that I was confused at first because he didn't look like Leon, I was a bit confused by that. But, anyways, and they're trying to solve the mystery of what's going on, and they even go up to the Arclay Mansions, which were a part of the first games. And by the way, I'm a fan of the Resident Evil games. I love them. I never played the originals. I never played the original, but I did play the RE2 remake, which was fucking phenomenal. And you get a film that mainly is just fan service, so people go like, it's the thing from the game that I know! Holy shit, I'm so happy about that! But then, in my opinion, you need to try to make a good film and then add stuff from the thing you're adapting, because, to be honest, I do enjoy this way better than the Paul W.S. Anderson's pieces of shit that I never want to watch for review. Please do not make me review those movies. Please. But anyways, I think this film is better because it at least feels like Resident Evil. Of course, there's a bunch of fucking fan service, but at least it looks like Resident Evil. And there's still some shitty CGI in this, but that's probably due to this film not having the biggest budget. But there was some practical stuff that I did like, and some of the CG isn't completely bad. Some of it was surprising me. The William Birkin, if you guys know from the games, he turns into this giant meat monster, and I feel like that effect was pretty decent. But, it's also such a difficult task they set themselves up with combining the plots of the first two games, because you're constantly cutting back between two storylines and trying to have them interweave, and I'm like, you're trying to adapt it, but I don't feel they're doing the bestest of job with this, because even though I feel like the actors are casted very well, Robbie Amell, that's a good cast for Chris Redfield. The person playing Claire Redfield, I saw her in Crawl, loved her performance in that. She's honestly pretty good in this, and even though I said that the guy necessarily doesn't look like Leon, he captures the spirit of the character, and even the actress playing Jill, I do admit that that's pretty well casting, even though, yet again, not the same ethnicity, but that's fine. She does a decent job, I think. But then you have Tom Harper playing Albert Wesker, which that is just the fucking weirdest casting ever, because they play him in this as like a big muscle guy, and I'm like, that is not at least what I imagine Albert Wesker as, but what the fuck do I know? But the fact that they're trying to make the plot of him, like, betraying them for Umbrella and stuff like that, it just comes out of nowhere, and then you kind of feel like a redemption arc at the end with him, and I'm like, no, that's so fucking dumb. And then you get William Birkin and his daughter, which was one of the most interesting, like, things that the RE2 remake did, at least. But in this, they're fucking sidelined. He's just a big bad villain, evil scientist doctor dude at the end, and he turns into the cool thing. I'm like, yeah, that's a thing from the game. And I'm just like, okay, well, why the fuck should I care if you guys don't want to try to actually adapt stuff that isn't this? But to be honest, I do find it entertaining, because at least the actors are trying their best. Even Donald Lowe, who plays the police commissioner, he's entertaining in this because it's Donald Lowe. And I would say that's also pretty good casting on itself there. And my main problems with this is that the story is just a fucking mess. Like, it tries to combine the first two games' arcs, but never really captures the atmospheric feeling that both of the games had, and they just try to jam as much recognizable, they did the thing, and, like, I'm fine with that. I enjoyed that more than fucking Mila Jovovich in a red dress kicking the shit out of fucking lickers called Hunters in the first Resident Evil movie. Oh, God, I'm opening a whole new can of worms trying to talk about that, but let me get back to what I was saying. I do enjoy seeing this stuff live actionized. It's cool to see it, and I honestly think that the actors are good in these parts. I honestly don't know what to say with the actors, because I feel like they casted this pretty well. I think it's more of a writing thing, because, like, I was maybe thinking maybe director, but I feel like the director is telling them what to do, and they're coming up with the ideas themselves. Like, the director is trying to make what he wants, and he's actually, the director has some good directed sequences in this, because when Donald Lowe tries to leave this Raccoon City, there's a Journey song playing, and, like, I thought that was pretty good direction there. Like, the camera in that scene I thought was very good. There's another scene where Chris is hiding in the Arclay, is fighting zombies in the Arclay mansion, and his match keeps going out, even though it ends with a cheap jump scare. I thought that was actually like it was fucking stupid because it made no sense, but I feel like a good amount of the direction in this isn't bad. I honestly don't think that the direction in this is bad. I think it's mainly just a screenwriting thing is my mainly problem with this film, and there's some other gripes I have from being a Resident Evil fan. The city in this looks like just a random, like, town. It doesn't look like a city. When I think Raccoon City, I imagine like a New York type style shit, not what this film has. And it does get annoying when I'm just like, they did the thing from the game, and it's like, okay, cool, I like seeing this in live action, but at the same time, I get to see it in the games executed better, because we actually have the interesting stuff with William Birkin and his daughter, which the daughter's barely fucking mentioned in this. And then you just get scenes that are doing that, where the actors are trying, and I will say that the actors are entertaining in this, and, like, I do enjoy some of the blood effects, and the zombies do look like Resident Evil zombies, and they act like Resident Evil zombies, which I do enjoy, but it's mainly just the writing department. This film is just a plot fucking mess, because it tries to combine that, but then also add in, like, this stuff with Claire coming back to Raccoon, and then William Birkin being like, oh, your sister was so smart, but you're such a fucking idiot, and it's like, you missed the point of what the most interesting stuff in the games. You just tried to add in all this interest, you knocked out all the interesting stuff from the games, get some actors that honestly work well in the parts, just if you get some better writing for them, or see, the direction I don't think is bad, because that. And then it does that stupid shit where it's like trying to make sure that you know it's the fucking 90s by VHS shit, and then mentioning Journey songs, or just showing outdated technology so you know this is the 90s, even though, like, I don't need that. You don't need to clarify to me that it is the 90s. Try to feel like you're not just trying to suck the 90s dick off so you actually look like you're from the 90s. So obviously this film I have problems with. Did I enjoy watching it? I did, because it at least feels more like Resident Evil than the other shit, and the actors, I feel like, are doing a decent job. There's some decently directed scenes, some bad CG, but I know a lot of movies use CG today, and I wish that more practical stuff, especially in a movie like this, were used. Anyways, but yeah, and then, like, the whole plot line with Albert Wesker in this is just so fucking stupid, because you're supposed to feel bad for him at the end, and then you don't, and then he just dies, but then there's an end credit scene. Fucking Christ. So, do I recommend this? It's hard to... If you're a fan of the games, and you want to just see decent portrayals of these characters from the actors' perspectives, because I honestly think that the actors are doing a good job as these characters, but not from a writing perspective, and you want to see some classic fucking Resident Evil moments given live action, see it. It's campy as shit, and I knew it was gonna be that when I got into the film, but the whole story that it's like they try to escape the city because it's also getting blown up, because that's another Resident Evil plotline stuff, and then you just have the Arclay Mansion stuff, which is just completely over. To be honest, I don't feel like they advance the plot at all through the two plot lines. It's just feeling like, oh, time to get to point A to point B to point C, escape. Like, that's honestly what it feels like, and it just feels like I'm seeing scenes where these characters are fighting off zombies and making some stupid decisions also. But yeah, I do only recommend this if you're a fan of the games and you want to see this, and if you want to see decent portrayals of the actors, if you want to see a better portrayal than the games than in the Paul W.S. Anderson movies, I do recommend this. But if you're just a casual viewer, I would pass this one by, because there's not a lot of intrigue for other viewers, because they just keep throwing in stuff that you want to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe down below. Please comment your opinions on the film. And yeah, I will see you... What? Fucking... God damn it. There's some zombies out there. I gotta deal with them. Let's go. What the? Why am I in... I can't... I can't aim. Why can't I see in first person?